and welcome to today's SESI Talk. Today we are here with Ms. Monica Kish from it's a policy analyst of the European Parliament. We're doing these SESI Talks with the project WEEP, We and the European Parliament. It's a project that wants to raise awareness among the citizens and among the workers about the role and the democratic values of the European Union, especially related to the political and legislative priorities of employment, environment, and digital transformation. And we wanted to ask you, obviously, and thank you again for being here at this time with us. And what do you think are the advantages of an average worker to live and work in the EU?
Yes, it is a good question. But first of all, we have to clarify whom we consider as an average worker. So if you mean a worker with in a standard employment relationship with a full-time contract, with an open-ended contract, in an employee status, preferably with an employer having legal responsibility, then yes, in this case, an average worker has plenty of advantages to live and work in the EU. Sufficient social protection, for instance, so he is entitled to annual and sick leave, parental leave. Working conditions are regulated, even if there is, of course, some more to do. And these workers can also make appeal if these conditions are not met, so they have legal protection. There is a legal basis at EU level, and the European Parliament contributed to this, of course. Just to mention some facts, so there is the directive on transparent and predictable working conditions already adopted. There is the posting of workers directive. The social security coordination is on the way. They can already benefit from a working time directive, work-life balance directive, and of course there are still things to do. For instance, the European Parliament asked for a Commission proposal on the right to disconnect. So it will be a next step because of teleworking. This became very important, this right to disconnect. It has to be regulated. And fair minimum wages, so there is also a directive on the way. So for these workers, it is advantageous to live and to work in the EU. There are other groups of workers, for instance, self-employed or workers in non-standard employment forms, who are in a more precarious situation. This is the case of platform workers. So platform workers
exactly.
had also a role to play during the coronavirus pandemic, and their situation is also to be regulated. Luckily, it is one of the priorities of the European Commission now.
So, yes, exactly. We stressed it in our conversation as well, that these workers who tend to sort of almost be left out of certain policies because they have more difficulties. So what are the things, the challenges that the European Parliament has to face with these workers who are in non-standard employment in a precarious position?
Yes, when we come to platform workers is a very heterogeneous group. So the one common thing is that they rely on an online platform. So work is distributed through the platform. But for instance, there are workers who work physically on the spot, so like cleaning workers or personal transporters. There are also workers working only digitally, for instance, IT specialists, translators, or other workers like this. So it is a very heterogeneous group. They did not suffer from the consequences of the pandemic in the same way. So some groups could continue working online without major difficulties. Other groups lost their employment, for instance, cleaning forces or transport workers. But they have also common problems. Namely, one common problem of platform workers is that the employment relationship is not clear. Are there employees? Are they self-employed? Who is the employer? Is there an employer? Is the platform, or can the platform be considered as the employer? Is there a legal responsibility? Who has this legal responsibility? So all these questions have to be clarified. And it will be a huge work, because there is not one size fits all solution for platform workers.
Yeah, exactly. As you said, the difficulties that there is no one generalized solutions for all, but the problems and the difficulties are very sectoral and individual to each worker's activity and area of work. And when talking about the future of work, how do you envision it in a post-pandemic environment?
Yes, when we talk about the future tendencies at the labor market or in employment, we have to speak about two main tendencies. The one being challenges which already existed before the pandemic have been highlighted, heightened, accelerated through the challenges related to the pandemic. This is, for example, the areas of digitalization and automation, or the increased use of artificial intelligence, or skill problems, skill gaps, lack of digital skills or other skills, or the problems concerning the platform workers. So these questions were already there before the pandemic, but they became more important due to the pandemic and the related measures. And there are new challenges because of the pandemic, and this is, for example, teleworking. So if we look at figures before the pandemic, according to statistics from the Joint Research Center of the European Commission, 5 to 6% of the workforce worked remotely. During the pandemic, surveys has been taken. For example, Eurofound made surveys, and they found that more than 30% of the workforce works now remotely. So it is a huge change, and there are new challenges coming up. For example, technical support or troubleshooting or broadband problems, but also work-life balance problems. So the limit of professional life and private life became blurred, and it has also to be regulated in a certain way, or psychological problems or health problems which concern these remote workers. So these are new challenges, and they have to be regulated, because chances are high that remote working will outlive the coronavirus crisis, and it will be the new normal, at least in certain sectors.
Exactly, and there's new challenges that obviously us at trade unions needs to face as well. How do you think the trade unions could help the European Union in the initiatives to defend workers and to prevent exploitation, and to make sure that the future work will be balanced, well balanced? in giving the fair and right conditions of work to all workers.
Trade unions have an important consultative role because they represent workers. They are in the best position to know the real problems of workers and the real challenges they face. So they have to raise their voice and tell it into the EU institutions during the consultation phases of Commission proposals, for instance, because the trade unions have important information about the real challenges workers have to face.
Well, thank you very much. We've come to the end of our talk. It was really a pleasure. Thank you very much, and goodbye to all.
You too.